2017 total solar eclipse is approaching. Here's a live look from NASA showing the sun over Oregon through a filter here. That's why it's so dark. The eclipse is starting in less than an hour on the West Coast, so we'll keep coming back to this shot throughout the newscast as the moon slowly passes over the sun.
In the meantime, here at home, we hear thunder right over our studios on the south side. This noon, it's a phenomenon. 99 years in the making. The first coast-to-coast eclipse right here in the United States. Welcome to Action News Jax at noon. I'm Dawn Lopez.
And I'm Phil Amato. Action News Jax is counting down to the total solar eclipse. You can see a ticker right at the bottom of your screen there showing you how long it'll be before the exact start of the eclipse in our area, which is around 1:15 this afternoon. A total solar eclipse will cross from the U.S. from west to east today. That's all the way from Oregon to South Carolina. And even if you're not in the path of totality and it's not cloudy, you should be able to see a partial eclipse in the U.S.
Now, the viewing times for the eclipse in our area again begins around 1:15 this afternoon. It'll last until 4:15, but that will really depend on where you live. The height of the eclipse for our area is about 2:45. To get a look at those times again, go online. We have it all listed for you there, all of the cities in the viewing area at actionnewsjax.com.
Now, Action News Jax has team coverage for you this noon on the celestial event from South Carolina, where millions will see the total solar eclipse all the way to St. Augustine. Action News Jax First Alert meteorologist Aaron Clanahan starts off our team coverage now, and there's lots of anticipation today, Aaron, but the clouds and some thunder here could be in the way for some people trying to get a glimpse of the eclipse. Okay, Don, right on target there. We see the eclipse starting.
There's a little difference here.
That's right. That's in Oregon right now where the eclipse has started. Now, the total eclipse will happen in Oregon at about 1:15 our time, so they still have about another hour and 5 minutes before totality there in Oregon. And this shot is taken from Big Summit Prairie, Oregon. That's in the central part of Oregon. Apparently a telescope there taking a shot of the upper right-hand corner of the sun now being occluded by the moon.
And every minute counts, because we've seen quite the difference just between, now and just a minute ago.
Yeah,
so,
slowly
totally
being eaten away there. All right, we'll keep our eye on that. Meanwhile, the gatherings are continuing in Jacksonville, too, where a watch party is planned on the University of North Florida campus.
And once the crowds arrive, they're expected to stay for hours. Action News Jax Russell Colburn continues our team coverage now from UNF. Russell, the campus is expecting about 2,000 people to come out.
Action News Jax this morning. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back. Right now, the Atlas V rocket is about to lift off from Cape Canaveral.
We're just a few seconds away. Let's listen in.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have liftoff of TDRS M on the Atlas V rocket from Space Launch Complex 41. TDRS M, securing space-to-ground communication for NASA's low Earth orbit operations, including the International Space Station.
Atlas should yaw maneuver to steer to its planned path at an inclination of 26.2 degrees.
Fantastic. There's the launch of the Atlas V rocket. It was supposed to take off at 8:03, delayed just a few minutes there, now up in the air. And as you heard that one announcer say, it's delivering a communications satellite into orbit, one of about 6 up there, part of the TDRS network, which provides GPS and data and relay systems, not only here on Earth, but also at the ISS and the Hubble Space Telescope. That's about a $408 million satellite, so it's up in the air.
A lot of money invested into that satellite. Glad it had to take the time to cool off this morning, because certainly a huge investment, but there it is right there, taking it live via the NASA stream, launching into orbit right now.
It's going to be deployed 22,300 miles geosynchronous orbit up into space, so looks like a good launch for the Atlas V this morning.
Fox 30 Action News Jax this morning begins with breaking news.
Breaking overnight, Tropical Storm Harvey is lashing Texas, leaving massive flooding and damage to several areas, including Houston. We'll show you the search to find those left vulnerable after the storm killed 2 people and hurt at least 14 others.
And we're on top of even more breaking news, and call this a spoiler alert if you've DVR'd the big boxing match, but you can call it a knockout. It's a historic win for Floyd Mayweather as he beats Conor McGregor. Just how many rounds it took Mayweather to get his 50th career win. But first, we are on top of breaking news out of Durkeeville right now. Police there are on the scene of McConney Street Action News Jax this morning starts right now. Good morning, everybody. I'm Cole Heath.
And I'm Erica Bennett. Here's a look at a map for a better perspective. This is happening just a few blocks from Myrtle Avenue North. Action News Jax Christy Turner joins us live from the scene. Christy, what can you tell us? What are you seeing out there?
Well, JSO has a large portion of this neighborhood roped off. You can see red and blue lights reflecting off of this home here. I'm on West 7th Street at Blue Avenue. Several officers on scene here of what JSO is calling an aggravated battery. If you zoom in past those patrol cars just down the street there, I walked over when I first got on scene to talk with officers, and I noticed a man in the back of one of the cop cars there. I couldn't tell if he was in handcuffs, though. JSO was supposed to give us an update on the situation, but originally canceled the briefing, and I just got word from JSO that they will now give us an update on the situation here eventually this morning. I asked one officer first when I got on scene what happened out here. He said he had just got out here and didn't have any information. I then asked if I could speak to his sergeant who is on scene, and he said now is probably not a good time. So at this time, JSO is staying pretty tight-lipped on what exactly happened out here. I'll be working to find out if someone is detained or being questioned. For now, reporting live in Durkeeville, Christy Turner, Fox 30, Action News Jax.
Christy, thank you. Switching gears to something that's near and dear to me. Tropical Storm Harvey is spinning deeper inland in parts of the Lone Star State. Millions of people are waking up to damage and heavy flooding in their area.
Because Hurricane Harvey is downgraded from a hurricane now to a tropical storm, but still a lot of work to be done. Authorities say that Texas could see even more destruction and up to 40 inches of rain. Action News Jax First Alert meteorologist Aaron Clanahan is in the First Alert Weather Center tracking Harvey this morning for us.
Yeah, Harvey.
Aaron, thank you. As Tropical Storm Harvey continues to soak the Texas area, specifically Houston, authorities are now able to assess some of the damage in other parts like Galveston and Corpus Christi.
Right now, at least 2 people are dead and dozens are unaccounted for. There's a flash flood warning in effect for the Houston area. Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner says the flooding could last 4 to 5 days. And at least one airport there, Hobby, is shut down. Just look at some of this new video from the Houston area. You can see water already rushing the streets, specifically there on Allen Parkway. And take a look at this video off of I-45. Authorities say some drivers are already seeing flooding there and on multiple roadways. Some people have gotten out of their car, we know, and have attempted to walk.
And more than 12 hours after Harvey made landfall, damage it can be seen everywhere from down streets to destroyed homes. The impact is being felt across the Texas coast. Reporter Lauren Seabrook with our sister station WFTV has been driving through that damage and brings us the very latest.
Yeah, we have. I mean, we have been.
That was Lauren Seabrook reporting, taking us across the heavy hit area of Texas. Right now, hundreds of evacuees are still in shelters this morning, not knowing when or what they'll find when they return home. Many of them returning back to those hard-hit areas you just saw.
New this morning, new video out of Aransas, Texas, where the Coast Guard rescued 15 people after Harvey. The storm has been downgraded to a tropical storm. The Coast Guard says they deployed crews to rescue stranded people near the port of Aransas. Here in Florida, a special water rescue team is on standby to help out in Texas. The South Florida team is skilled in navigating turbulent waters in boats as well as specialized trucks. They've loaded enough equipment for a mission that could last up to 2 weeks. They say it's a very dangerous job, but they have experience helping people. A Jacksonville Salvation Army team is getting ready to help families impacted by Harvey. Tomorrow, a group will send a mobile canteen to help out with feeding. Meantime, a group of 8 volunteers from North Florida Red Cross have already left for Louisiana. They're also asking trained volunteers to check their schedules for possible missions in Texas in the coming days.
Action News Jax has continuing coverage of Harvey. For a picture gallery and information on how you can help the victims, download the Action News Jax mobile app.
CBS 47 Fox 30 Action News Jax this morning begins with breaking news.
That breaking news is out of Mandarin. A driver was killed in a head-on collision. The vehicles police say were involved that blocked the streets for hours.
Plus, local man accused of ordering a hit from jail. The phone call the police said put a deadly plot in action.
Thank you so much for joining us on Action News Jax this great Saturday morning.
Now, CBS 47 Fox 30 Action News Jax this morning begins with breaking news.
Breaking overnight, a missing 21-month-old is found safe and sound.
Plus, a local man allegedly behind a home invasion that triggered an Amber Alert is behind bars. How soon he's set to go before a judge and the charges he's now facing.
And a teen torn between two families, her biological family and the only mother figure she's ever known. Police solved an abduction case from a Jacksonville hospital nearly 2 decades later. Let's get you right out to that breaking news from overnight. Police make their first arrest in connection to a home invasion that triggered a local Amber Alert.
And now he's set to appear before a judge this morning. First alerted you to this breaking news on our mobile app on Action News Jax just after 11 p.m. last night. 22-year-old Kyle Bird was arrested in St. Johns County. The U.S. Marshals Service assisted the sheriff's office in the arrest. Action News Jax Amber Kriska joins us live from JSO with more. Amber, deputies say they're still looking for more suspects.
Traffic Center. Phil?
Right now, the search is on for a gunman who put another man in the hospital.
We first alerted you to this story on Sunday when police say the suspect shot a man near the intersection of Flagler Boulevard and Gerardo Street. That's not too far from Anastasia Boulevard. Action News Jax Amber Kriska is following this story for us this morning. Amber, police say what's kind of interesting about this case is normally the suspect is gone, but this time the victim was gone too.
Action News Jax.
Your time is 7:04. The FBI is now addressing claims that former President Barack Obama had the Trump Towers wiretapped during the presidential election. This all comes after a series of tweets from President Trump Saturday morning, even though he offered no evidence to support it. On Sunday, law enforcement sources confirmed to CBS News that FBI Director James Comey asked the Department of Justice to publicly reject the president's claims, saying, quote, "The allegations falsely suggests the FBI broke the law."
There was no such wiretap activity mounted against the president-elect at the time, or as a candidate, or against his campaign.
I think he is going off of information that he's seen that has led him to believe that this is a very real potential.
A spokesperson for Mr. Obama responded, saying in part, neither President Obama nor any White House official ever ordered surveillance on any U.S. citizen. Any suggestion otherwise is simply false.
And the accusations by President Trump comes amid reports that he's frustrated over the firestorm surrounding Attorney General Jeff Sessions. On Friday, we told you when Sessions recused himself from Russian investigations regarding the 2016 presidential election. And today he will respond to the Senate Judiciary Committee in writing about his pre-election meetings with a Russian ambassador and why he failed to mention those meetings during his confirmation hearing. In the meantime, President Donald Trump is expected to issue his revised immigration and travel ban today. That's according to an administration official who says the signing will be at the Department of Homeland Security. The new executive order is expected to replace the old one that's stalled in federal courts. That order temporarily banned travelers from 7 majority Muslim countries from coming to the U.S. and banned entry to all refugees. Sources say the new ban will not affect green card holders and people who already have visas.
President Trump is making the rounds on social media for something he did that was quite similar to Florida Senator Marco Rubio last year, taking a sip of water here. Yeah, he apparently got a bit dehydrated during his press conference Wednesday following his return from his Asia trip. In fact, the internet immediately lit up with several reactions. One Twitter user said, "This speech brought to you by Fiji water," hashtag there. Another said, "Wait, did POTUS just have a Marco Rubio moment?" A lot of people noticed that. And of course, Senator Marco Rubio tweeted as well, saying, "Similar but needs work on his form. Has to be done in one single motion, and I should never leave the camera." But not bad for his first time. Interesting. Rubio's water cooler comment happened back in 2013. He took a sip of water in the middle of his GOP response to President Obama's State of the Union address.
Right now, former Congresswoman Corrine Brown is preparing to make a statement at her sentencing hearing. Wednesday, Action News Jax was there as her co-conspirators went before a judge. We spoke to Ronnie Simmons' attorney, who says he's hoping to avoid prison time in this charity fraud case.
He's mentally ready to pay the consequences of what the court does. He's ready to financially as well. He's taking care of his affairs, assuming that he's going to go to jail.
Well, it's been 6 months since Corrine Brown was convicted of 18 counts for stealing from a charity, filing false tax returns, and more.
Action News Jax Beth Russo joins us live at the federal courthouse downtown. And Beth, the judge isn't expected to hand down her sentence today.
7:46 this morning. Someone is the very, very proud owner of a 500-year-old painting from Leonardo da Vinci. Wednesday, it fetched a king's ransom on the auction block, selling for $450 million. The painting shows Jesus Christ in blue and crimson robes holding a crystal orb, and it's called, basically in Italian, Savior of the World. How would you say this, Phil?
I didn't see
Salvatore.
it. Salvatore.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
I needed some help.
Can you imagine though?
No, but the bidding war in New York lasted just 20 minutes, and they thought that they would only get $100 million for
Only
it.
$100 million. I want to know who bought it. Some
Someone-
guy
I
on the other
know.
end of the line.
Maybe
Who
group
is
of
that guy?
investors
Or
who
girl?
has that kind of money.
Right, yeah. By the way, up until Wednesday, the highest price paid for a work of art at auction was a measly $180 million. That was a Picasso. So
Wow.
it's $100 million or $1 million a year. Right now, officers are on the lookout for wanted sexual offenders who are required to report where they're living, but they haven't.
And Don, the FDLE wants to make sure these two men aren't hiding out in local neighborhoods.
That's right, and near our children. Now, the first fugitive I'm about to show you in today's Predator Alert is no stranger to law enforcement. He's Jonathan Dwayne Brandt, and he has been arrested on crimes ranging from drugs to armed carjacking, but he's on the offenders list for child rape and molestation. Brandt was last known to be here in Jacksonville working in construction. He's about 6'4", 220 pounds. The next offender is 62-year-old Carlos Humberto Plaza. He's from Guatemala, but was last known to be here in Jacksonville as well. Plaza hasn't registered his address, and the FDLE needs to know where he is. He was found guilty of fondling and exposing himself to a child. Plaza is about 5'10", 200 pounds with gray hair and brown eyes. If you've seen either of these sex offenders, you're being asked to contact Crime Stoppers at 866-845-TIPS. Remember, you can remain anonymous, and you could be eligible for a reward.
All right.
Thank
Important
you,
stuff.
Don.
You bet.
An 18-year-old